somebody tougher than you. There's always somebody that knows more than you. But he can take care of himself. And with Big Mike, there wouldn't be too many problems. I'm trying to keep the wheel turning in the direction to throw it in. It still comes out a little bit, but that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, the water is catching quite a bit of it. I'm still getting some around here. I don't want to have too much water in there because I don't want it to get into this when I'm doing my thing. Because I don't feel like my hair being permed. Now, the stuff that's down inside a little bit, I don't care too much about that. The edge is what I care about. Because I want to make sure that it's not going to cut, and I want to make sure it's going to hold my my molding that I'm going to put on there. I'm trying to avoid it, but it's not going to happen. I know it's going to get caught, and we're going to have a disaster. So anyway, I was talking to him, and I said, so what are you doing now? Anyway, he says, well, I'm still doing security. I work for a company out in New Milford. He says it's 2 cops that own it. He says, and they're pretty good. He says, other than, I said, don't even go there. I know what they're going to say. They're always calling you wanting to work. And that's what happened. With security, the company will promise you the world to work. But you'll only have to work your hours, 8 to 5, 9 to 6, whatever it is, 11 to 7. We'll never ask you to work over. We'll never ask you to come in. We won't call you. We won't bother you. We have good people. Yeah. Usually within the first 2 or 3 days, they're calling you up. Oh, by the way, can you do this one? Can you work this one? When you get done there, can you go over there? You know, or ding-a-ling-a-ling, the phone rings. He's not going to make it in. You're going to have to stay there until we can cover you. I mean, this is so. If you're going to work security, plan on working a lot of OT. So what are they paying now? You know, because back then, before the minimum wage went up, unarmed can be anywhere from 8 to 10, maybe 12, but 8 to 10 is the average. Armed, 10 to 12, maybe 13 or 14, but that's a big maybe. That's not usually happening. So I says to him, what are they paying now? He goes, I said, to start, because I didn't want him to tell me what he's making. I said, what are they starting you with now for armed? He goes, well, I'm getting 35, no, I'm getting 30 an hour, plus OT. Wow, you know, that went up pretty good. I said, 30 an hour is not bad. So I says, well, to start, somebody just coming in the door off the street, or they're starting them at 18. He says, however, you wouldn't start at 18. You know, he says, you'd be coming in there at 25, 30 bucks an hour. I said, no, I'm not asking for me. Would I? I'll tell you what. I worked a couple of good security jobs, and I worked some good companies, like when I was working for Port Security and things like that. They were a pretty decent company. And with that particular company, I would sit in a guard shack, and nobody was able to get in. And it was a big shack, you know. I mean, it had wraparound windows, you know, concrete building, state-of-the-art bathroom. The counter was as deep as this, but it was a big U-shape. Computers, you name it, it had everything in there. All the safety stuff, you know, fire extinguisher, everything. And a gate, the button. And all you would do is they'd pull up, and if you wanted to open up the half door, you check their ID. If not, they put it on the reader. And, you know, if you haven't seen them before, you walk around with the mirrors, and you let somebody know that he's going to come in, and they'll say, okay, you can let him in, and that's it. Nice job. If another one of those type of jobs came up for $25 to $30 an hour, where I can just sit there like that, I would probably take it. But those are far and few between. But even with that one day, actually twice it happened within about 8 months, the help always seemed to show. My relieves always showed, because it was a nice job, you know. And the guys that were there, you know, they were doing their thing. That's all there is to it. They, you know, they respected everybody, you know. So one day I get a call saying they hired a new guy, saying, the new guy, he's going to be running late. Well, how late? Because I had an appointment. I even had the John Deere on the back of the van, because I had that down there with me. And I had to be someplace at 5. I get out at 4. It was a 35-minute ride. So I says, well, how late? I said, because I got an appointment today. You know, come on. You know. And the guy on the phone says, well, you're getting paid for it. Yeah, sure, but I'm getting paid a lot more if I get out of here on time. You want to pay me what I'm missing? And that was it. Well, it's getting time for me to leave. I got to leave. Call him on the phone. Now, I'm in the shack here. The office is right there, second floor. I can see the people in the office. I can yell out and talk to them if I wanted to. I call up. I said, listen, guys, I'm getting ready to leave. Oh, don't leave. You can't leave. You can't leave your post. Bop, 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 bop. No. That's not the way it works. I told you. Somebody in that office, get their ass down here, because I'm leaving. Well, let me see if I can find somebody. Another 10 minutes go. I'm pushing it now. I said, you know what? That's it. I call on the phone. I says, can you look out the window? He goes, yeah, watch. I walked out, shut the door, got in the van, drove away. He calls me. Where are you going? Where are you going? I says, I told you guys ahead of time. If this post is that important to you, then you come down. Whatever you're doing up there on the phone, you can do down here on the phone. Now, the first time it happened, same company. I had the tractor. This is 2007, I think it was. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, I had the tractor. I needed the trailer. So over the weekend, I was driving out the shoreline, and I seen this trailer company. They had the trailer. I get out. I go inside the office. I'm talking to the guy. A couple partners owned it. They're both in there. I'm talking to them. Nice guys. So I'm talking to them, and I said, they said to me, would you want to use one? I said, well, that depends. You know, I says, if it's in good shape, and if it will roadworthy, and if it's going to pass inspection. Not that it had to, but I wanted to make sure if it had to, would it? He said, yep. He says, we'll give you a good deal on it. He says, the only thing you may have to do is put a set of back legs on it. And that is for, you drop the gate and you're driving up on it. If you want to drive up on it and have no stress on the ball, or drive up on it without it being attached to the truck or anything, you have to have a set of stabilizers in the back, underneath the frame where the tailgate is. Because if not, as you're driving up on it, the trailer's going to go like this on you. And apparently, this was only used for a landscaper that went in business, and within 5 or 6 months, basically the first summer, he was out of business. So I looked at it. When I bought it, it looked brand new. You couldn't tell a new one from an old one. I mean, it looked great. Okay, we're going to do a little bit more, then we're going to take it out there. I don't need any more with the big thing. I may not need any more, period. Maybe a little bit there. So anyway, I bought it. And I said, I'll have to come back up for it. I said, because I didn't have my van, so I didn't have a ball pit or anything. He says, I'll come up. He goes, well, if you want. He says, we're going to be here. I think it was, no, wait a minute. I'm backing up. I'm confusing him. He says, okay, that's great. He says, can you get up here by Wednesday, however? Because we got a shipment coming in. We got a few more trailers, and we need the room, which they did. And if that's a bullshit line or not, I don't know. All right. I mean, I already paid for it, so it's not like he wants to get his money. So he had no reason to bullshit me. So, when I go in Monday, I tell him, I got to leave. Monday, today, Tuesday or Wednesday, I have to get out of here 2 hours ahead of time. Because they closed, and they didn't want to wait, and I can understand that. I had a business. And it was an hour ride. So I wanted to give them enough time, and I wanted to give myself enough time. Meaning the company, give them enough time to find somebody. So they said, Wednesday is good. I said, fine. Wednesday comes, I remind them. I reminded them twice. Good. Have fun. I love you. Say hi. Now this is the first time it happened. This is relatively new into the job. I left Customs. I wasn't with Customs anymore. I knew that was only a part-time job to start with, but I didn't care. You know. So anyway, it's coming close to time. I'm calling the office. You know, it's 2 o'clock. Hello. You know, I told you I had to be out of here too. He's on his way. All right, where's he coming in from? Local. Okay. 2:30. Hello, I don't want to be a pain in the ass, but I got to leave. He's on his way. Well, where's he coming from? China? He'll be there in a few minutes. I wait 15 more minutes. Doesn't come. I says, hello, send somebody down. I'm leaving. Oh, don't leave. He's on his way. I'm leaving. Goodbye. I hung up the phone. I drove away. And I seen him in the window watching me drive away. So that's why the second time I did this, I told him, look out the window. I drove away. Screw it. One is, I didn't really care if I had the job or not. At that point, they needed me more than I needed them. Now, it's not that I'm taking advantage of them. I gave them plenty of time to find somebody. I gave them the choice. You tell me what day is good for me to leave between Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, and I got to leave at 2. Okay, let's throw that back in there. I'm going to go out there and rinse it off, and then while that's rinsing, I'm going to come in here and blow this off while the fan's on.